Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I have not done a dedicated product review video in quite some time. They tend not to do so well here in the new YouTube algorithm because quite frankly there are plenty of people out there that are dedicated to doing only reviews and they could probably do this a lot better than I could, but this product has a special place in my heart. So quite a few years ago, ELF came out with the original Poreless Putty, and that was a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, which came in the little container, and it went viral instantly. It was such a good primer, it felt amazing, and what I did is I tested them side by side. It was, I think I came out with that video like a week before all the other big YouTubers came out with that video, so that's like one of my best done videos on the channel, and I compared the ELF and the Tatcha side by side, and it shocked me how much better the ELF performed. If you missed it, I'll throw it up in the cards if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. So when I saw like a couple of weeks ago that ELF released once again a dupe for a Tatcha product, I don't think I've ever bought a product that fast. So this is the product they're duping. This is the original Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas, and it's essentially just the liquid version of that Silk Canvas primer. And this is the ELF dupe. So now we have the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And I was actually so excited when this came out, I bought two. Because I know when they came out with the Poreless Putty Primer, it was literally sold out for months. Months and months. It took me forever to get my hands on it. So I bought two. So before we go ahead and jump in, I'm going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons here. We're going to talk about each of the products, the price points, everything. I did a full day wear test for you. I will do that, and then we'll come back for my final thoughts. So before we jump into that, I haven't been asking this a whole lot, but if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll please the algorithm gods here on YouTube. And if you haven't already, check to make sure you're subscribed, and subscribe for videos. I'm going to call it every week-ish now. I'm leaning now towards like every Sunday. We'll see how long that holds up. All right, let's talk about the Liquid Silk Canvas first. So this is from Tatcha, and it retails for $54 from Sephora. Yeah, $54. It is steep. It's actually, at this point, it's like 5 times more expensive than the ELF one. It's even more than that. So it is $54, and I only bought this as like a splurge to myself, and I bought it during the Sephora sale. So I got it for 20% off. So it was like 30 something. I think it was like $36. I ended up paying for this. Overall, I was just really curious about how this liquid version would work because I loved the putty. I'm gonna call it the putty, even though it's not called the putty. It's called the silk canvas. That one worked so well on my skin, and at that time there wasn't any other kind of similar option, so I splurged and I got this for myself during the sale. So let's do the quick description of the product from Sephora. This is a weightless liquid primer that protects skin from pollutants and makeup while helping your look go on better and last longer. This is for basically all skin types, normal, combination, and oily. And this is supposed to target pores, redness, dullness, and even texture and uneven texture. So apparently this is also supposed to have an aspect of skincare in it as well, because I see on the website they're showing that there are clinical results and that 2 weeks after use, 90% see an improvement in the appearance of wrinkles and 98% see an improvement in the appearance of fine lines. Now I have to say, while I've been using this product, I think you'd probably have to use it every single day to see that kind of, I don't know, improvement. And I'm pressing X to doubt there. I don't know if you'd be able to get that kind of improvement from just a primer. I feel like you'd have to like go into skincare and kind of let it sit without all that makeup on and everything. So I'm not sure about that, but I have to say I do like this primer. It goes on like super silky smooth and it smells nice without being too overpowering, but I will say there is a scent. It's almost like, I feel like it's like if I tell you it's the Tatcha scent, I feel like it's pretty well known. It smells basically exactly like the putty primer. I keep calling it the putty primer because it's exactly like the Silk Canvas did. And I do want to point out this is 1 fluid ounce of product. We don't get, a full ounce with the ELF. So let's jump into the ELF. Now for the ELF. I do want to say, comparing the two right off the bat, I really enjoy the packaging of the ELF better. Yes, it is less luxurious than the Tatcha, but overall, I feel like I'm probably going to be leaving some product inside of here. I can't see if it's like a weightless pump, if it's an airless pump. I don't know if there's going to be stuff left in here and I can't like unscrew this or anything without breaking it. Whereas the ELF has like my favorite product packaging for makeup and skincare. Like I love squeezy tubes like this. It's easy to store, it looks nice and sleek. I can squeeze everything out that I need to, and then when it gets towards the bottom, I can literally just cut this open and then scrape everything out. I like getting my money's worth out of a product. Nothing bugs me more than packaging being in the way of me using every last bit of the product. So point to ELF on that. Now for the ELF, I don't know why, but it's only 0.94 fluid ounces. It seems a little bit short, or yeah, short of 1 fluid ounce. I'm not sure why they couldn't have just bumped it up like a tiny little bit to give us an actual fluid ounce, but I'm splitting hairs. This retails from the ELF website for $10. $10. Now I have to say, for ELF, I think this is just like makeup inflation overall, but drugstore prices are creeping up. So I don't think I gotta look it up. I might pull the part from my old video where I talk about this. I don't recall whether or not the putty primer was $10 or more. But to me, $10 in comparison to the Tatcha, yeah, it's a steal, but $10 in the realm of drugstore, I just feel like it's getting expensive. So I'm not complaining because I love this primer, but $10 is $10. So I did buy this directly from the ELF website, like the day it came out. I got the email, I went and I purchased it immediately. Now, because I'm part of the Beauty Squad, which is just ELF's reward program, and I bought enough to qualify for free shipping, I got free shipping on this. Now let's see what the ELF website has to say about the primer. So this is a lightweight liquid primer for a long wear makeup application and a poreless looking complexion. It is a silky, lightweight liquid face primer that grips makeup for long lasting wear, minimizes the appearance of pores for a smooth complexion, and is infused with squalene. This is also great for all skin types. It says great for oily, normal, dry, and combination skin types. So let's jump into the comparison. As you can see, there is a tiny bit of an actual like color difference in the product itself. This is the ELF over here, and then this is the Tatcha, and I will just blend this out a little bit so you can see the difference. So I will say the Tatcha definitely feels more lightweight. It feels more like a moisturizer, whereas the ELF, it does feel like a primer, but it feels like a nice primer, but there is a slight difference there. They do both completely sink into the skin once you're done blending. So this was the ELF side and then this was the Tatcha side. Both sides of my hand feel really good, though I will say the Tatcha did blend in quicker and a little bit nicer. I want to talk a little bit more about the differences here, but I feel like going into the all-day wear test in comparison is going to help inform that discussion. So let's go ahead and jump into the full day application and wear test. All right, so it is time for the first impression and full day wear test using the ELF and the Tatcha side by side. So I rewatched the video where I tested the original putty primer versus the silk canvas, and I had to write like T versus E on my hands to remember which side was which. So I stole that idea and I did it again. So the left side, it's going to look maybe not left on the camera, but my left side is going to be the Tatcha, and then my right side is going to be the ELF. So I've been using the Tatcha for a few months at this point, and I kind of like to just do boop, boop, and then like a little bit on the forehead, and then I rub it in. So this feels like I'm basically putting on a serum. It feels really nice. It does have a scent. It is more scented than the putty silk canvas one, but it feels really nice. So I think if you had like really sensitive skin and you're sensitive to like strong scents, you might not be able to use this. But I'm gonna rub it in, do half the nose, really get around here where my pores are kind of the worst. So now we have the Tatcha on. So looking at just the Tatcha, I do see my pores are definitely blurred around here. After I put on the ELF, I will zoom you in so we can look at it side by side really close up. But I'm already seeing, just compared to the no primer versus the Tatcha primer side, pores definitely look blurred around here. Definitely looks nice and plump. Gives me a nice little bit of a glow compared to that side. And it just feels nice. Honestly, the experience of putting this on feels nice and luxurious. So now that we've got the Tatcha on, let's go ahead and do the ELF. So this is my first time using the ELF, and I have to say, I like this packaging better just because I'm a sucker for like a good plastic tube that I can make sure I can get absolutely everything out of. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do like one little thing there, and you can see the appearance. It's very similar, like the color and the texture. Nice, nice, okay. So it's slightly scented, definitely less scented than the Tatcha, but I'm surprised it feels very similar going on. So it does tug at my skin slightly more, but overall the texture of the product is very similar. And there we go, we have both halves applied. Ooh, they do a very similar job of blurring around here. So now let me zoom you in. So this is the closest I can zoom in currently. I will play around with some settings, but as you can see, like around my nose, The pores definitely look very blurred. And at this point, I don't think one side looks better than the other. They definitely feel very similar. And then on my forehead, it does look nice and smooth. You can see there. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a huge difference between the two sides yet. Interesting, interesting. So I'm going to be applying the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It's been like my favorite foundation recently, and I know how it wears and how it sits on my skin. And for a good full day wear test, I think this is going to be a good choice. So I forgot to wet my spongy. So for this foundation, I do like to apply it with a brush and then smooth it out with a sponge. Okay, so the foundation is on, and I have some thoughts. So zooming you in, let's start down here. So I've noticed that on my breakouts on my chin, it definitely looks like the Tatcha side is like clinging to my dry spots. I don't know if you can see like right around that breakout, I see like dry spots clinging. Whereas on the ELF side, it just looks very moisturized and covered. However, up here by my pores, I have to say the foundation, it looks like it's sitting better on the Tatcha side. Because you see over here on the ELF side, it looks like the pores are a bit more prominent now that the foundation is on, like right there. Whereas over here, it just looks very nice and very smooth. And then on the forehead, I don't really see a difference in the sides. But if you do, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go and do the rest of my face, then I'll be back to show you the final face of makeup. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is on. And I have to say, if I zoom in and look like really closely at the pores around my nose, it's definitely sitting better on the Tatcha side than the ELF side. But that's only like right here. I have to say the rest of the face, I really can't tell a difference when the rest of my face is done. And that's really only if I like zoom in and like look really closely. If I look at it like from far away, like from here, it looks pretty similar on both sides of the face. So it is currently 9:45 a.m. We are about to head out to the mall for a full day of shopping. So I'll be back for some check-ins and then we'll come back at the end of the day to see how both sides look. Oof. Okay, so I know I said I was going to film check-ins and that did not happen. We were just like literally non-stop shopping all day. It was a great amount of fun. I did not film any check-ins. So it is now 6:37. Can you see that? 6:37 p.m. I've had this on for a full day and I'm ready to take my makeup off. But I have to say, despite the fact that I wore this for a full day and the temperatures got up to the 90s in the car that we were in, this makeup looks pretty decent. So, to give me a opinion before I kind of go into which side is which, Alvin is here to give me his opinion on which side of my face looks better because he was here for the first video where I did this. So, to show you, you want to go behind the camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have two primers here. This is $50-something from Tatcha, and this is the dupe. It's like $8 from ELF. Okay, so I split my face and I have half with that primer and half with this primer, and I wore it for a full day, same foundation. So which side looks better? If you want, you can come on this side and like get up close too.
I need even amount of light, so look straight at the ring light. Say my right, your left.
My right, your left.
Your left, so this side.
This side. Okay, interesting. Why would you say that?
I don't know. Guess it's the subtlety.
Are there any particular spots that look bad on this side?
It looks more shinier.
More shinier on this side.
Like right under the eye right there.
Interesting, okay.
You see it? It might just be the light though. Lighting is everything.
Interesting. I mean, I think it looks like a little bit of the makeup wore off. Like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see skin right there. But over here, it looks pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have to say, like, right where the concealer ends, I could see it. This concealer does not play well with this foundation, I don't think.
Yeah, I could see that now.
The concealer? Yeah, right there. But, like, the rest of it looks good. Because what I was going to say is this morning, here on my chin, I gotta say, it looks better now, but on the chin, on this side, it looked worse just here, because around the breakouts, it looked dry and cakey, and then here it looked smooth, but over here now, I guess maybe because I've worn it in and I've sweat a decent amount, this looks more lived in, and it doesn't look as dry. Though I will say, I got creasing on both sides, right around here. So that's
a little bit more creasing on
this side
right there.
So there's a little bit more creasing right there. The nose and the forehead looks great on both sides. Like, I gotta say, I'm shocked it looks this good because I was sweating all day. I wore long sleeves. I
see patches like up here, a little bit right there.
That's my contour.
Oh.
Are you saying my contour looks patchy?
I'm guessing because of the sweat, it might be like
it might look like it's coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's contour here, contour bronzer, contour on the bottom.
Then again, I don't know what you did, so...
Which is the point. Excellent. So yeah, I'd have to say I agree. I think this side, because this side looked worse when I first applied it, but at the end of the day, I think this side looks better. Though I will say... You know what's interesting?
The right side is holding up.
I was going to say, so you know how on this side I can see where the concealer ends and it looks kind of patchy there? I'm not getting that on this side. It's only on this side.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the primer or if that's just the foundation doing weird things, like right where the concealer meets the foundation. But, Okay, so to let you know, I have the Tatcha on this side of my face. So it's split down the middle. Tatcha primer on this side, ELF primer on this side. So, 10,000 square foot look. Could you tell that I had two different primers on? Like this, it's kind of shocking how it's not drastically different, is it?
Nah, it's not really noticeable unless if you ask
and you point it out.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, so for this first impression, because this is the first day I've worn this one. So first impression, I am very impressed. I gotta say, so down here, the Tatcha definitely wins, like down here. I gotta say, for like the cheek area right here, this side looks a lot better than this side, I just think. Because this side looks a little, just where it's beating right up here, it looks weird and kind of creepy. Whereas this side looks really pretty, just like all together. The forehead, I think it looks the same. And in between the eyes, it looks the same on both sides. Does Rex want to contribute?
He wants pig.
He wants piggy. Okay. So that concludes this first impression wear test. I am going to go back and test this for at least a couple of more weeks, and then I'll finish out this video with my final thoughts.
Boop boop.
Boop boop. That was the wear test. I have to say, like, I've done these side by side since that wear test, and I've noticed that these... I don't know if it's because it's liquid and it's not putty, but I've noticed that these react much more differently to different foundations. So with some foundations, the ELF looks a ton better, and then with some foundations, the Tatcha does end up looking a little bit better. But when I'm looking just at my skin side by side, I really can't tell a difference. So really at the end of the day, I see that there's two big differences between these two primers. But to me, they're not big enough or make enough of a difference for me to justify 5 times the price for what I consider a really good dupe. Now, the first difference is just the scent. The ELF, which I really appreciate, it has no scent. I can't really tell a distinguishable scent. I think I'm smelling more so the packaging, like the plastic of the packaging, and not the actual product. Because when I rub in the product on my skin, like this, I can't smell anything. Now with the Tatcha, it does have that Tatcha scent. I don't know if I should Google what the scent is. It might not even have a scent. So I am on Reddit, because of course I Google and I add Reddit to it and I end up finding what I need. Apparently the Tatcha signature scent is young bamboo and green tea. So that is the scent that I am smelling. Now, I am sometimes sensitive to scent. I'm okay with like lightly scented hair and skincare products, but if it's a very strong scent, it does trigger migraines. This does not trigger migraines for me. It's just kind of like giving you that spa-like experience when you're doing your makeup or your skincare. So while it's not a negative, I don't think it justifies a $54 price tag just to have that added scent when the ELF scentless does everything that I need it to do. And the other big difference is just the way that they blend into the skin. So it does take me a little bit longer. I think the ELF needs to warm up to the skin to fully blend in and sink into the skin. Whereas the Tatcha, it just kind of like glides on and it feels really, really nice. But again, side by side, I don't see a big difference. Which leads me to my final thoughts. I completely think ELF did it again. ELF is knocking it out of the park with these dupes. They've been duping Tatcha for a while. They've duped Charlotte Tilbury with their the glow wands, which I actually just got all of those in PR, thankfully, and I've been dying to try them out. I've been testing out a couple of them, and I might come out with another ranking video or a review roundup talking about them, but really ELF has been just doing great things. My only concern is the price, but I think it's unfortunately just today's economy and everything. Inflation is bringing everything up. So I don't know if it's just like makeup is getting more and more expensive over the years, or if it's specifically like everything is just getting more and more expensive. But anyway, I am going to continue buying this once I go through both of these, because I do have both of them. And I don't think I'm ever going to rebuy the Tatcha. And I can't really say I'm surprised, because ELF has done this many times, and I think they'll continue to do so. At least I hope they do, because I like to see drugstore brands do well. So that is it for this video. Let me know down below what you thought, and if you're gonna pick up the, let me just throw it at myself. And if you're gonna pick up the ELF primer, or if you've tried the Tatcha and now you're curious about the ELF, let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.